Hi there, welcome back. Tonight is a Thursday evening, and a Thursday is significant for me, especially this Thursday. It's week 3 of stage 4, and we normally would have been at Phinda Game Reserve with the leadership group, and Thursday would have been our last night together as a team in the bush. Customarily, we would gather around the fire on the last evening. We would probably share a beer, a lovely cold beverage at the end of what is normally a fantastically challenging but very rewarding day. And it's a time for stories, it's a time for reflection, and it's a time to sit back and think about the week that we might have shared together. Every now and then, a poem crops up into my mind, and sometimes it's the right moment to share that poem. What I love about this poem is that it is written by an anonymous author. And somebody just sat down and wrote this poem, maybe out of what they were feeling at the time. This poem is called The Cold Within. 6 men chanced by happenstance in bleak and bitter cold. Each one possessed a stick of wood, or so the stories told. Their dying fire, in need of light, the first man held his back. For the faces round the fire, he noticed one was black. The next man looked across the way and saw one not of his church, and he couldn't bring himself to give the fire his stick of birch. The poor man sat in tattered clothes. He gave his coat a hitch. Why should his log be put to use to warm the idle rich? And the rich man just sat back and thought of the wealth he had in store, and how to keep what he had earned from the lazy, shiftless poor. The black man's face bespoke revenge as the fire passed from sight, for all he saw in his stick of wood was a chance to spite the white. And the last man of this forlorn group did naught except for gain, because giving only to those who gave was how he played the game. Their logs held tight in death's still hand was proof of human sin. They didn't die from the cold without, they died from the cold within. And very often, for me, it's a reflection about what are we giving. If leadership is a giving thing, that we give appreciation, we give support, we give encouragement, we give empathy, we give hope, we give feedback. Each of those is like a log of wood that helps to burn somebody's fire a little brighter. And it's tempting to hold back our log of wood at this time, to keep what we have earned, to not share things, to look after ourselves, to isolate in an isolationist sense. But perhaps this time is calling for us to give our stick of wood. Interestingly, the poem talks about 6 men, and I wonder if there were 6 women around that same fire of potential, whether one of them wouldn't have just put their log down for the good of the community. Perhaps it's something that we could all learn about. What are we giving at this time? Perhaps just one stick of wood, which might help. And so this week's reflection is about giving. And perhaps when we give, we don't die from the cold within. We ignite the fire from without. So have a wonderful week and weekend when it comes. And we'll see you next week. Cheers.